So, it's really you. I didn't think I'd see you again, not here, not like this, you know. For months, I played out every version of this moment in my head, you walking through that door. Me pretending not to care, me yelling, crying, maybe. Even slamming the door in your face. But now, I don't feel any of those things. I just feel tired of missing someone who left without a word. Tired of holding on to memories like broken glass sharp and shining, cutting me every time I reach for them. Why now? Why today?
Because every day I didn't come back, I died a little more inside. I've stood outside this very door 100 times. I've rehearsed my apology until the words lost meaning in my mouth. But I never had the courage to knock. I was a coward. You loved me, and I ran. I didn't even leave a note, because I thought that would somehow make the goodbye cleaner, easier for you. But it didn't. I know that now. Every night since I left, I've heard your voice in the silence. I've seen your face in my dreams, and when I wake up, gasping like I'm drowning in regret, there's no you beside me anymore. I thought I could forget. I thought I could live without you. But the truth is, I didn't live at all. I just existed in the shadow of what we had.
You think words will fix this? Asterisk, you think telling me that you suffered too will erase the nights I curled into myself, wishing I could hate you, but failing miserably because all I could feel was love. Asterisk, you vanished. Like we were nothing. Like I was just a chapter you skipped in your story. And now you return, expecting me to still be the same girl you left crying on the porch. Asterisk, no, I'm not her anymore. Asterisk, she believed in happy endings. Asterisk, she believed in you. Asterisk, I buried her the night I stopped waiting.
And I buried myself the day I walked away. I didn't come back expecting forgiveness. I didn't come back hoping you'd run into my arms. I came back because even if you never speak to me again, I needed to look you in the eyes and tell you I was wrong. I was terrified of how deeply I felt for you. You were my mirror, and you reflected all the parts of me I never wanted to confront. You saw through every wall, every defense, and instead of standing still in that light, I ran. But running didn't save me. It broke me. And now, all I want is to stand here, broken, exposed, and real, and ask if there's still even a corner of your heart that remembers me not for how I left, but for how I loved you before fear took over.
You think words will fix this? Asterisk, you think telling me that you suffered too will erase the nights I curled into myself, wishing I could hate you, but failing miserably because all I could feel was love. Asterisk, you vanished. Like we were nothing. Like I was just a chapter you skipped in your story. And now you return, expecting me to still be the same girl you left crying on the porch. Asterisk, no, I'm not her anymore. Asterisk, she believed in happy endings. Asterisk, she believed in you. Asterisk, I buried her the night I stopped waiting.
No, I can't. But I came to carry the broken parts with you. If you let me, not because I want to ease my guilt, but because I still love you. Not in a nostalgic, remember when way? I love you in the present tense. I love the woman who stood up after I left. The woman who kept breathing when everything told her to collapse. I know you don't owe me a second of your time. I know love is not a rewind button. But I also know that what we had was rare. Sacred. Would rather spend the rest of my life trying to be the man you deserved than spend another day pretending anyone else could ever take your place. And if all you'll give me is this one conversation, then I'll hold it like a treasure.
You still talk like a dreamer. Asterisk, part of me hates that I'm still affected by your words. That you still know how to find the softest part of me and press against it until it hurts. Asterisk, but the other part of me, asterisk, the part that never stopped loving. You, asterisk, she's whispering that maybe, just maybe, this isn't the end. Asterisk, and that terrifies me. Asterisk, because if I let you in again and you walk away, asterisk, I won't survive at this time. Asterisk.
Then I won't walk away. Not again. Not ever. This time, I stay.
Do you remember that night? The one where the power went out and we lit candles like we were in some old movie. You played that broken guitar and I hummed along, badly, I admit. You looked at me like I was magic. I used to believe in that look. I used to think, this is it. This is what love feels like, safe and wild all at once. And then, not even 2 days later, I found your packed bag by the door. No fight, no warning. You had already made up your mind to leave, even while pretending to love me under candlelight. That memory used to be my favorite. Now, it's just the night before everything shattered.
God, I remember. I remember how your face glowed in the candlelight, how your voice softened every part of me. I remember thinking, if this is what forever looks like, I want it. But inside me, I was drowning. I had already received that job offer, a chance to leave the city, leave everything. I told myself I needed space, time, freedom, but what I really needed was courage to stay. And I didn't have it. So yes, while we made memories, I was also making an exit, and I hate myself for it. That was the most cowardly thing I've ever done. I left you in the middle of a love story, like closing a book before the last chapter, never even knowing how it could have ended.
And you don't know what it's like to wake up to silence, to walk through the house touching the coffee mug you left, the sweater that still smelled like your cologne. I spoke to walls because I couldn't bear how loud your absence had become. People told me to forget you, that you weren't worth the tears, the sleepless nights. But they didn't see the way you made me laugh until my ribs ached. They didn't see how you wiped away my tears before I even knew I was crying. You were my person, and then, suddenly, you weren't. How do you forgive someone for that?
You don't. Not? Isley. And maybe not at all. Asterisk. I didn't come expecting you to forgive. I came hoping you'd understand. Asterisk. I was afraid of settling down too young. Afraid that love would become a cage instead of wings. I didn't realize that. You were my wings. Asterisk. I thought leaving would help me find myself. But instead, all I found was that every version of me that made sense had you in it. Asterisk. The rest. They were just ghosts. Asterisk. I wasn't alive out there. I was only running from something beautiful because I didn't know how to hold it without breaking it. No, I can't. But I came to carry the broken parts with you. If you let me, not because I want to ease my guilt, but because I still love you. Not in a nostalgic, remember when way? I love you in the present tense. I love the woman who stood up after I left. The woman who kept breathing when everything told her to collapse. I know you don't owe me a second of your time. I know love is not a rewind button. But I also know that what we had was rare. Sacred. Would rather spend the rest of my life trying to be the man you deserved than spend another day pretending anyone else could ever take your place. And if all you'll give me is this one conversation, then I'll hold it like a treasure. You were always enough. You were more than enough. That was the problem. You made me feel things I didn't know how to handle. You made me dream bigger, love deeper, and hope harder than I'd ever dared. And I was afraid I couldn't live up to it. That one day you'd wake up and realize I was a fraud. So instead of giving you the chance to leave me, I left first. It wasn't about Tuesday. It wasn't about timing. It was about fear. But fear is no excuse for hurting someone who only ever gave love.
You broke something in me. Something I haven't been able to repair. Even when others came along, kind people, safe choices, I couldn't let them in. Not fully. Because part of me was still waiting for the door to open again and find you standing there, and I hated that part. I hated that no matter how angry I was. If someone said your name, my heart would still flinch. I wanted to move on. I really did. But I think a piece of me still belongs to that night with the candles, and the music, and the man who made me believe in forever, even if he didn't believe in it himself.
If I could go back, I'd rewrite that night. Not because I want to erase the memory, but because I want to replace the ending. I want to stay, to unpack my bag, to tell you I was scared, Not of you, but of how much I needed you. But we don't get to rewrite time. All I can do now is look you in the eyes and say, I was wrong to leave. And if there's any part of you, even the smallest, that still sees a future with me, then let me stay this time. Let me prove that I've changed. Not with promises, but with presence.
You still talk like a dreamer. Asterisk part of me hates that I'm still affected by your words. That you still know how to find the softest part of me and press against it until it hurts. Asterisk, but the other part of me, asterisk the part that never stopped loving. You, asterisk, she's whispering that maybe, just maybe, this isn't the end. Asterisk, and that terrifies me. Asterisk, because if I let you in again and you walk away, asterisk, I won't survive at this time. Asterisk.
Then let's rebuild this slowly. No grand gestures. No sweeping declarations. Just small, honest steps. Let me earn your trust the way I should have from the beginning. Let me be there not in words, but in actions. Let me hold your hand without asking for anything in return. And if, after all that, you still feel unsafe with me, then I'll walk away. For good. But I need you to know, I never stopped loving you. Not for a second. Even when I was gone, my heart stayed.
You're still here. Asterisk, I thought maybe after everything we said. After all the truth spilled between us like wine staining white sheets, you'd change your mind. That you'd say, this was closure and walk away. Asterisk.
I'm not here for closure. I'm here because walking away again would be like burying myself alive. Look, I don't expect you to open the door wide. I don't even expect a yes, but if there's a sliver of space in your heart, even one breath where my name still feels like warmth, I'll wait inside that silence.
I don't know what to do with you. You come back like a storm, knocking everything off the shelves I spent years organizing. You stir emotions I thought I packed away in boxes labeled never again. And yet, when I hear your voice, I don't feel broken. I feel found. Like something I lost a long time ago suddenly walked back into the room and asked if I was ready. Now, but part of me still whispers, what if he leaves again? What if he loves me and forgets how to stay?
Then I'll whisper back, I've already stayed longer in your silence than I ever did in anyone else's love. Asterisk, I don't want fast. I don't want easy. I just want real. Asterisk, and if real means rebuilding from the foundation, brick by brick, tear by tear, then so be it. Because you're worth it. You always were.
You used to say that I was the calm in your chaos. And I believed you, until I realized I was drowning while trying to keep you afloat. But now, I see something in your eyes, not guilt, not pity, but presence. And maybe that's what I needed. All along. Not the perfect man, not promises wrapped in poetry. Just someone willing to stay even when the weather changes.
Then let me stay. Let me be the one who chooses you on the quiet days, not just the dramatic ones. Let me love you when the dishes pile up, when your hair's a mess, when your voice trembles for no reason. Let me carry your grief without trying to fix it. Let me become your safe place, not with words, but with consistency.
You're different now, asterisk, not softer, not harder, just clearer. Asterisk, and I realize that maybe I've changed too. Asterisk, I don't need a fairy tale. Asterisk, I don't need fireworks. Asterisk, I just want someone who sits in the silence with me and doesn't run. Asterisk, maybe. Love isn't about how high it takes us, but how gently it lets us fall into each other.
And maybe the falling isn't the end. Maybe it's the beginning. Because if this is falling, I've never landed in a more beautiful place with you. Even pain feels like it has a purpose. Even my regret bows down to your strength, and if you let me, I'll build a life where goodbye never belongs.
Then stay. Asterisk, stay for the awkward silences. Asterisk, stay when my past shows up uninvited. Asterisk, stay when I forget how to trust. Asterisk, stay when the world feels too loud and all I can offer is my tired heart and shaking hands. Asterisk, stay. Not because you should, asterisk, but because you choose to.
One choose you, dot in the quiet, dot in the chaos, in the aftermath of our brokenness. I choose you, not because it's easy, but because it's real. Because every moment without you felt like breathing underwater alive, but never free. Let me come home, not to a place, but to you.
Then come and dot no more doorways, dot no more in between, if we're going to do this. We do it the honest way, slow, scarred, beautiful dot, and I won't promise perfection, but I will promise presence, if you stay. Stay not as a guest, but as someone who builds the rest of their story with me, not around me.
Then let the story begin. Asterisk, let it begin with mismatched mornings and late-night talks. Asterisk, with fears confessed between coffee sips. Asterisk, with laughter that tastes like healing. And tears that water what we're planting. No more pages torn out. Only chapters. We write together. Asterisk, and this time, asterisk, I'm not writing the end. Asterisk, I'm writing, I'm finally home.
And maybe I'm to dot, maybe love didn't leave. It just needed time to find its way back, not as a rescue, but as a return dot. So stay dot, stay with me, not just for today, but for every day after this.
Always, dot asterisk, because, with you, even forever, doesn't feel long enough.